and welcome to the BCM podcast. No one else was doing it. I guess I would. I thought I'll do it. It's me. It's on me. It does start with B anyway. So this is BCM podcast. I'm your host today, Brad Swail. To my top left is Charles Blain. You'll never find him on social media because he doesn't want to tell you what his handle is. To my right is Michael Searle at msearleatx. Charles.
It's very easy to find me on Twitter. All you just
Charles is the first recipient of the 50-year mortgage. Congratulations, Charles. You will never own that, and you're going to be happy about it. How's it going, guys?
It's going good. Christy Nome was here at Bush Airport today, handing out $10,000 checks to TSA agents who worked above and beyond during the shutdown.
Damn, Christy Nome did that? For real?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was like a surprise thing, too. His news just popped up, and she just like showed up at the airport.
$10,000 checks from whom?
Yeah, to whom?
The government.
From the government? Is she allowed to do that? It would be different if it came from her pocket. Otherwise, this is just performative.
They're bonus checks for the TSA agents who didn't take off, who stayed.
I didn't take off any work. Can I get a bonus check?
What do you ask? Go ask her. But also, you don't work for government, so.
How do you know? I could be a plant. I could be a honeypot. Kash Patel. No, I can't be a honeypot. All right, that was fun, guys. I love it. This is y'all's first time on a podcast. I can see. Speaking of Kash Patel, I wanted to show this to y'all just real briefly. Start off on a high note, and I think that Charles is probably going to disagree with me on this.
There we go.
He probably what? Here we go. What?
Now God knows what.
This is Kash Patel doing a workout, and I feel like Charles is going to be impressed by it.
What the heck is that?
What is he doing? That wasn't a pull-up.
Oh, good.
Go down.
Keep your core stable. Like his butt is too low. He has no core stability. He's like putting his chin to the ground. He can't keep his spine straight. Oh God!
His honeypot.
He did maybe five half pull-ups and maybe 10 push-ups, and he is beats.
You would think, you know what they should do for those appointees for like things like FBI and stuff? They should make them go through the training that cadets go through, just to go through it.
Didn't Secretary of War Pete Hegseth? Didn't we talk about this? He did a jog with the army, and like there was women that were jogging with him, and
I think they both did. I think Kash Patel did too.
Why isn't he way ahead of those women? What's happening? Why does he run so slow?
Because women.
Is it a race? I don't think they were racing. I think they were jogging together.
You would never ever be caught dead with a picture of me running with a woman. Maybe far ahead of her because I'm faster, but whatever.
I don't believe that.
For a second. That's just me. I don't know. I don't want to be perceived as slow as them. You know what I mean?
You played soccer back in the day on the women's team. Did you always run far ahead of them, or were you just kind of hanging out with the crowd?
The Ladybug situation?
Yeah.
You ever seen the movie Ladybugs?
Well, yeah. I mean,
did you see Ladybugs?
Oh yeah.
Okay, good.
Oh, yeah.
That's the first movie reference I've ever made that you got. Charles, I think, didn't see it.
I know. I feel like I've heard of like Ladybugs, something related to soccer.
Anyhow, yeah, it was the first trans movie of the 90s. Maybe Miss Doubtfire came out first. I don't know.
That's what I was going to say.
All right, so we're doing things a little bit different as we said last week. Last week we talked about Austin's Prop Q. This week we're doing more of a round table. Everyone's bringing some topics and some segments to the table, and we got
30 states
something. Who was that, and what was that?
Nothing.
That was Charles. Charles got into his one of his secret folders on his.
How do you? Never mind. I'll figure it out another time.
How do you do what?
How do you put media there to present when you're ready to present without it automatically presenting?
Well, now it's down there. It's ready to go. Now, this is a little bit of production that, as the listeners the viewers, they're seeing some production happening here. It's down there at the bottom, Charles. You just add the stage and you play it.
Yeah, after it just played. I was saying, how do you add it without playing it first?
Oh, I don't.
It's fine.
No.
Maybe I have to do it before the show.
You go to media assets on the right. I don't know. Yeah, we have to do that before the show, but hey, we didn't. So, did you want to talk about the Elizabethan era?
start there if you want.
I mean, you already popped it up, and we're on it. It seems like a great segue. Why is this called the Elizabethan era?
That's what I'm naming this era of Houston Metro's of Elizabeth Brock's tenure. Elizabeth Brock is the chair of Houston Metro, and I feel like it needed a name because it's getting so bad that I want to kind of encapsulate all the bad in one era, and so I'm calling it the Elizabethan era, and I'm hoping it catches on. And so
she's the what of Houston Metro? Is that you said?
Yeah, the board chair.
What is Houston Metro? Is that
it's like our Cap Metro?
Yeah, it's like Cap Metro DART. But technically, it's the Harris County Metropolitan Transit Organization. But
you are a EMB. This is gross. Go on.
He's about to criticize transit.
So
I've been in enough trains.
I've been in this all-out war with them and her for a little bit because this goes back to over the summer when she pushed this extension of a contract. So when Turner was still here and he was getting ready to leave, he put forward this contract for a micro transit service, which is a 9-seater buggy that takes you through these like micro zones, no AC, not ADA compliant. They're electric vehicles, and they were supposed to be very limited as a $215,000 pilot program. Turner did it the week after Whitmire and Sheila Jackson Lee got into the runoff, created an organization, a public-private partnership, put Elizabeth Brock as chair of this organization. She served as chair for about 6 months. Whitmire wins election. She resigns, and then she's suddenly appointed chair of Houston Metro. And she then extends this contract, which is just a pilot program, and it has now gone from $215,000 to $6 million. And she never filed a conflict of interest disclosure. She voted for all of these, and they refused to release records surrounding it and are charging me $700 to access them. And the other ones they are asking the Attorney General to conceal. And then when they did so, Evolve Houston, which is the entity, sent a letter to the Attorney General asking not can he just help them conceal that, but also any project under consideration or in development that they may have even in the future. Please let that be exempt from public disclosure as well. And this is just, it's crazy. It's nuts. It's nuts. So this project has never gone out for public bid. They did it as a sole source contract when it was $215,000 because they said it was under the threshold. It could only be offered by this one service. And now here we are at $6 million, and it's never gone out for public bid.
Okay, so what I've learned from this is that I can go through this process with any city and just keep it under the threshold. It never has to go to vote. And then all of a sudden my costs go up. They balloon millions of dollars and no one needs to know about it.
That's it, but it has to be done. Here's the weird part. So it has to be done through an interlocal agreement. So this video I'm going to play is them talking about it yesterday. So I wrote this article, an article about it weeks ago, and I was the only one to say anything about it. And Elizabeth Brock started calling people around town trying to figure out who she can get to get to me. So she called people who she thinks funds me and just shit talking me for the past like 3 weeks. There's someone else who was retweeting some of the stuff that I had posted. She called their boss and tried to get them fired. She is like a tyrant, and now it's a war because it's crazy. And so I put all this stuff out, and then finally, the Metro board yesterday, when they were considering another extension that she's bringing forward, this is going to be the one that brings it over $6 million. They finally spoke up, and so I'm not going to play the whole meeting, but I'm going to play.
Not exceed 100,000. How are we getting this done at several $1 billion?
Pilot program, it's typically between 18 and 24 months, depending on what type of program it is.
Our procurement manual itself says a pilot cannot exceed 12 months or $100,000. I understand the need to research, but how are we in compliance with our own procurement manual and still able to do this is the question.
I think this is being funded through the city of Houston and not a procurement in per se. We will have, so to answer your question, this is not really a traditional procurement.
Right, well, it's a pilot.
Well, I'm not sure.
I'm going to skip a little bit.
I've seen this audit, but apparently negotiating this.
What
do I do?
The negotiated lower rate. And then the last one I want to show you is with Elizabeth speaking. Here's what she says about not following the law.
I think we should do the right thing. We should re-procure it.
I personally have a hard time telling people that we have to discontinue the service because we have a process in place. We are leaders in this community, and we are leaders because we figure out how to make things work. And it is important that
leaders figure out how to break the law and do it legally. It's like crazy. So it's what they're doing is they went through an interlocal agreement with the city of Houston. So they have the city of Houston managing the contract, and then they reimburse the city of Houston for it. So they're saying that because they're not actually in the contract, they don't have to adhere to their procurement laws. It's nuts. It's nuts. It's nuts. The whole thing is crazy, and it kills me.
Would you say that she's an anti-car person?
Well, later in that meeting, she talks about how they're on this quest for 500, which is to get people out of their cars and into the, I think, 500 route to downtown. So yeah, probably.
Yeah, she's a yummy dude. So I mean, it's interesting. That is how elected officials are, though, aren't they? Just always trying to find ways to break the law or not follow the law.
Yeah,
always.
But not as brazen as being chair of the board of this organization, resigning, becoming chair of the board of this organization, and then they were already a vendor, but then moving their contract from $215,000 to $6 million in like less than a year and a half, and also trying to give your husband a sole source contract for a courier service.
A courier.
But didn't she say in her testimony just there that she doesn't want people to lose service? Are we talking about people losing service? Or are we talking about a major expansion of the existing contract?
Well, they're saying that if they don't expand the existing contract, they're going to lose the service because they keep doing 1 year extensions. And so
can you renew at 250,000 people maintain them? It reminds me of what the city of Austin's doing, where they're like saying we're cutting services from the Prop Q budget that failed. It's like, wait, you're not cutting service. You're just not getting the huge expansion that you proposed. And to our other point, like, we figure stuff out. We're not going to slow things down because of city processes. Why didn't you start your procurement process, like, I don't know, 6 months ago?
That's what the guy said.
If you knew that this was like coming up, like, why didn't you do that?
Why not? It makes no sense. And this whole thing is a mess. Like, people with wheelchairs can't use this, and because it's not ADA accessible, and they have plenty of people who complain about it and whose trips are canceled for it. And last thing, it's a free service. And so she keeps talking about how much they love it, but of course they love it because it's free. They pay for it at the expense of the taxpayers and offer it to these people in these micro zones. So yes, of course people love a free service. They're not going to say they don't. And so it's nuts. It's quite nuts. And I don't know what's going to make of it. The mayor has not said anything. Council has not said anything. Briscoe has said a lot. He's been tweeting it and tagging the attorney general. And people are starting to get frustrated. So we'll see what happens.
What do you think's happening behind the scenes here? Is this corruption? Is it incompetence? Is it arrogance?
So I want to be careful with how I frame this because she is litigious. But what I will say is that
I'm going to make sure that she sees this.
What I will say is that the money goes to Evolve Houston. Evolve Houston has no employees and has no vehicles. Evolve Houston contracts with Ride LLC to provide the services. And then the rest of the money, about, I don't know, $2 million, goes to 2 consulting firms and a legal firm. And then that's it. You don't know because it's out of the nonprofits. You can't see where it goes after that. And one of the consulting firms that gets the biggest chunk of the money, the owner of it sits on the board with Elizabeth of Houston First.
Why do they need consulting? Why are consulting fees 33% of the overall contract? What do they need consulting and legal for micro transit?
Well, the internal audit that I received from Metro that they gave me and then now are trying to distance themselves from says that they don't understand why they have such high consulting fees and that they are unsupportable and unjustifiable and they should cancel the contract immediately. And they didn't. And now they're saying they just renegotiated the cost down. So I don't know why they have such high consulting fees or why Evolve Houston, the nonprofit, does not file Form 990s on a regular basis. And why they have no employees and it's just a pass-through company.
Dude,
go ahead, Brad.
I was going to say nonprofits are a fucking scam a lot of the time. I love that you brought up the Form 990. For those that don't know, that's the IRS form that nonprofits have to file, I think every year, right? Or is it every 2 years? Every year.
Yeah,
Talking, showing all of their financials and how much they get paid and how much money they, brought in and service, all that stuff. It's, can be illuminating if you know how to read them, but they don't file them. Like, it's fucking, like, I've tried to do it with homeless services here in Austin. They just don't fucking file them and nothing ever happens.
They don't. Yeah, this one doesn't file them. The ones that are filed, they have 4 listings: payment to ride, payment to consulting, payment to legal, and that's it. And that's where all the money goes. So
how litigious is this woman?
I seemingly very, but so she's also, she's very well connected. Like, she's super close to the mayor. She's the vice president of infrastructure planning at Centerpoint. She board of Houston First, board of this. So she's very well connected, and that's why she was calling a lot of people trying to badmouth me, because she's well respected around town. But
she called people trying to badmouth you?
Yes.
Oh, what?
When I put the story out, yes.
What did she say to them?
I don't know exactly, but everybody who she called said they defended me with great honor. But that's easy to say. So
all of them.
Yeah, this stinks.
I didn't. When she called me, I didn't defend.
There's another story supposed to be coming out from an outlet, and I'm just waiting for it, because right now I'm the only one out there saying anything, and so I just need somebody to say something else, so that there's a little bit of backup.
And there's another story coming out. And what do you think your chances are on this PIR getting access to the information? No, not gonna happen.
I filed a 30-page brief in response to theirs, and the AG last week said that they're able to conceal that information.
On what grounds?
It was proprietary, even though Evolve Houston argues they're not a public company, even though 99.9% of their funding is public. And so it's a proprietary thing, and you can't release their trade secrets. And what else was it? Internal communications on planning, and not something else. It's just the stupid ones that they always use, that I always get from the Attorney General, that the Attorney General never sides with citizens and never releases information through TPIA.
Wasn't there a bill last session that said that if you receive a certain percentage of your money comes from a public source, that you are subject to the Texas Public Information Act? I don't know if that bill passed, but I remember it was considered as part of getting access to union documents, I think was the idea there.
Well, we definitely need it, because these LGCs and public-private partnerships, and these, this Evolve, on the board, it's the president of University of Houston, the mayor, the Centerpoint representative, president of NRG, and then I said one other public entity. So it's a very public entity, and yet everything's supposed to be a secret, even all their plans with another public entity. Because
they're an LGC? I got the check register for
no. Evolve
Austin Transit Partnership. I have their full every expenditure they've made, including some pretty interesting ones.
Well, I can't confirm it's everyone. They'll probably remove some of them, but they do have the check register up. But yeah, he sided with them, and I don't know why.
Michael, I'm going to ask you in a second, Michael, about that Austin Transit Partnership payables. But on the note of our esteemed Attorney General and candidate for U.S. Senate, Ken Paxton, siding with these fucking losers, kind of makes me think that we should be voting for Wesley Hunt. You know what I mean?
That one reason?
Yeah. I feel like we shouldn't reward him for his bad behavior. But,
I guess, just playing devil's advocate, why would the vote then go to Wesley if it's only over TPIAs?
Oh, what are you going to vote for, Cornyn?
I'm trying to get your rationale.
My rationale is that Paxton's a fraud. He's not on our side. He's not one of us. He's controlled opposition. You know what I mean?
I had Perplexity or something run the AG office's opinions or something to try to see who issued the most siding with citizens, and it wasn't this administration.
Which administration was it?
I can't remember. Yeah. I don't think it was Abbott. I don't think it was Cornyn. There was somebody who was before that.
All these fucking AGs moving on to governorships and senates. Abbott, Cornyn, Paxton. Ugh. Michael, when did you get that list of payables from Austin Transit Partnership?
I don't know, 2023, 2024.
Why haven't you done anything with that? Why are you just sitting on it like a weirdo?
Because I was just looking for specific information.
I know, and I think you found it.
That's not what I was looking for.
Well,
Michael, do they post it online or no?
Well, we found out that Brad is no, they didn't put it on. Or I guess it would be a Austin Transit partnership. No, I don't think it's online.
Oh, no, not Cap Master. Okay, Austin Transit.
No, it's the LGC that manages Project Connect. What we found was they were making some hefty payments to some local journalists here in Austin.
Get
Uh-oh. Under what
sponsorships? I know that business model. Yeah.
Yeah, but under what justification? Like, what's the? You're paying for subscriptions?
Yeah, lots of them.
The ecosystem is
that's illegal, right?
Is it illegal
for a government agency to pay for a bunch of subscriptions for a local?
They have to put postings in the paper, though. So, like, I mean, no.
Put postings in the paper?
Yeah, for any sort of like tax sale, tax rate.
Hey, well, I mean,
notice, but that's all City of Austin. ATP doesn't set the tax rate.
Paying for an ad in a newspaper or whatever is not the same as buying a subscription.
No, I mean, I know it's not the same as buying a subscription, but they do it anyway. Like, as being a part of it, they do it anyway and invest in it. Like HISD does, I don't know how many subscriptions to the Chronicle, like hundreds of them.
But the question being, should local government corporations that are receiving tax dollars be able to sponsor local media? Yeah. I think that creates an inherent bias amongst the reporters to
they should
not give a critical view of what they're doing. And so, yes, we looked through that, and there was quite a few, not just one local media outlet that was the recipient of our tax dollars in Austin.
So I guess that leads a question in my mind. Should state legislators be able to use their funds to buy subscriptions to
Should state legislators?
Yeah. Or I mean, I guess any elected official.
Should they be able to use public funds to purchase a
like for instance, how a lot of them purchase subscriptions to the Quorum Report and stuff like that?
No, they shouldn't. They should not. They should use their own money to like their own $10 to do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, I think that's reasonable. Seems like you disagree.
No, I just said okay.
Well, what do you think?
I mean, I don't really
be a premium subscriber to BCM podcast. I think that's okay.
I've never really put much thought into it, to be honest, but I think that I don't know, I think it's worthwhile having, like, I want my city councilor to know what's going on in the paper. And should they pay for it? Probably should, but like, it's also a job, like part of their job, you know? So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think they should use their own fucking money.
Yeah.
I would not have a problem with a law saying that they need to use their own money.
I mean, I guess if it's just like one person, his office is, you know, like the mayor of Austin, his office has one subscription to the Austin American Statesman, let's say. Okay, I guess that kind of makes sense. You know, you use it for work. It's a work expense. Fine, whatever. And is the Statesman going to report favorably on Kirk Watson so that they don't lose that one subscription? Probably not. But in the case of multiple subscriptions for like one office, that would be, you know.
Well, I'm sure if you look it up, your mayor also has a media Christmas party where they like pay a lot of money for all the media just to go to. Like our mayor does that. So there's a lot of stuff like that buys goodwill that maybe they shouldn't be doing.
Okay. Well, good luck, Houston. That's what you get for, you know, supporting mass transit.
That's what's going on in Houston. And so I'm going to stay on this like a dog with a bone. And I'm hoping that we get this cleaned up because I'm tired of corruption. And my theme next year is no corruption.
Interesting.
You're not going to be corrupt anymore, or for other people?
No, I will not stand for corruption in any shape, form, or fashion.
Are you going to get sued?
Huh?
Are you going to get sued?
Over what?
I don't know. Your statements here on the BCM podcast. Are we all going to be deposed?
Well, I was very careful with what I said.
Are we going to get subpoenas?
I mean, that might happen. But
what did Charles Blain tell you, Brad Swail, before you clicked record?
I have a very good lawyer.
He was complimenting my physique, mostly.
No, I don't think so.
It's on the record.
I'm trying to find this.
Find what?
The check register online.
What register? What are you talking about?
What I was just talking about.
What he was just talking about.
Okay, well, let's not do that during the show.
Move on to the next topic.
Michael, did you want to go? Do you want to do your
topic? Because mine transitions from yours pretty well.
Oh, well, I think that Donald Trump, he's the president of the United States. He had a 45th and 47th. He had kind of an interesting week, I think. Maybe the shittiest week possible. First off, the government shutdown only really ended because people started to realize that flights were going to get more. People were going to get really pissed off around Thanksgiving trying to fly. It's the only reason why it ended.
Yes.
Nothing to do with, SNAP benefits or anything like that. They didn't care that air traffic controllers or people were losing pay, were working with the money. They just cared because Americans were going to start going to the airport and flying, and they were going to get some mean phone calls. So they couldn't handle that political blowback, I think. But in all of that, Michael loves this. The Epstein files are back in the news. Michael's going to have some opinions about Trump's involvement in that or lack thereof. Right, Michael? But he
Not
also
really.
Not
really.
Not really what?
Continue. I don't have an opinion. My interest in the Epstein files is very limited. It's not limited to Trump's involvement or.
No, I'm not. I just mean to say that you'll have an opinion on whether it's, his mention in this case, these new documents, is Trump implicated? But there was a lot of really shitty stuff that came out. We got 50-year mortgages that have now moved to portable mortgages, and now we've also got Americans are too retarded to do work, and we have a bunch of Chinese students have to be in the United States or colleges will fail. We have him begging the president of Israel to pardon Netanyahu, and it's just not a very good week, I think, for MAGA and for Trump. It looks bad. It doesn't look like America first. I mean, the 50-year mortgages. I'm sure you guys are aware of this, correct?
Oh yeah.
What did y'all think about the 50-year mortgages?
Maggie?
I'm sorry?
A solution to a problem that helps the banks. Next. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I could let's play straw man it a little bit. Okay, so you extend the life of people often do this on their car payments. They can choose a 60-year or a 60-month, 60 month or a 48-month or a 36-month more, loan repayment time, or they can choose they pay it off at once. And so adding an option for people who maybe have lower income to extend the life of the loan and pay less per month based on their income. I mean, that seems like a good idea, but the reality is that they'll just end up paying so much more for the same house in interest. That seems problematic. So could there also be, oh man, my libertarian sensibility is going to get real out of whack here. But is there also a way to control for the level of interest they would have to pay on that loan?
What?
As well?
I just think that's wow. I'm surprised to hear you say that. I mean, I know you're not pitching it as an idea. You're just kind of throwing it out there as I don't know. I feel like it's like when Klarna came out with the fact that you could buy Taco Bell on it. You can split your Taco Bell in 3 payments. But it's keeping poor people.
People are financing their fast food. It's awesome. It's a great economy, guys. Tariffs are working.
It's keeping poor people poor, and you're double the interest, and you're giving $119 a month. Saving $119 a month when you don't have money is great, but paying double the interest over the lifetime is not. And that's less generational wealth that you can then amass to pass on because you wanted to pay $119 less a month.
But on the flip side, you're paying rent to somebody, and that's paying their mortgage, and they're building equity. And so if a 50-year mortgage makes it possible for you to afford a home, and you're building equity because you're paying off principal on the loan, that's an improvement to somebody who's just renting if they want to own.
That's fair.
So why don't we just get, a little statist here and say, we're going to allow 50-year mortgages, but we're going to space out, or whatever the word is. You're going to pay the same amount of interest you'd pay under a 30-year loan, but you're going to pay it over the 50-year period. What's the problem with that?
Not have a problem with it. I'm just thinking that I feel like most people who I mean, I know most people probably live more than 50 years from when they first buy a house, but I feel like a lot of people who are going to be, are going to die well before.
Well, I think that this is, I actually saw one argument in favor of it, which I thought was kind of interesting, is that I think the average American owns their home for like 7 years now. Like, it's a pretty short period of time. So it actually doesn't really make that big a difference. But at the end of the day, I think what you're going to be seeing with, Pulte got, I think, lambasted in the White House. Trump was not too happy about this, the blowback against this. But a 50-year mortgage, if you're getting a 50-year mortgage, you probably can't afford the home. Like, you're probably not putting down a bunch of money, and you're probably not in a good financial situation. You probably shouldn't be buying a home. And so I think it's just going to it's going to be 2008 all over again, where people are getting into homes they can't afford and setting it up for disaster. We're gonna have another crisis.
Maybe. No? Sometimes when you get a taste of something better, you elevate your lifestyle to reach that. Like Steve Harvey said, if you buy a first class ticket once, you will figure out a way to always fly first class.
Not a bad argument, actually. I like that. I flew to Japan once first class, and it was pretty sweet.
I flew to Chile first class. It was amazing.
Yeah. I'm saying the verdict isn't out on this idea, but we can move to some of the other things that happened. I think obviously structurally it benefit. I mean, it's an attempt to help people of lower income get into home ownership, and I think that's a valid effort. But does it have to always be in a way that they suffer? Well, the banks make out like bandits? I don't know. Probably not. You could probably do it in a way that's good for the American people.
Well, now there's portable mortgages, which I think if you have a 3% mortgage right now, you can transfer that. You can go buy another home and sell your current home, but you're qualified for the same rates. Like, you just keep that mortgage rate moving to a new house.
Interesting.
And again, the problem I think comes to it that kind of fucks over poor people or first-time home buyers or young people, because they can't qualify. That 3% mortgage rate doesn't exist right now. So you're trying to get all your money together and put down a down payment, and all you can qualify is for the 633 or the 7% or whatever the fuck it is. Then you have a bunch of people that have, bought their house in the 20s.
It was on Do Not Disturb. I don't know why that happened.
Did you need to take that? Or was that your lawyer calling about the statements you just made? And a bunch of old people that have, or people that bought in 2020, they have their 3% mortgage, and they're also bidding for the same house. I feel like they're probably going to have an advantage to new home buyers.
Yeah, I mean, here's the issue with all this stuff. It's like addressing things at the fringes. I mean, what is the problem that we're trying to solve for, which is long-term inflation that's driven home prices really high up, a constriction of supply because of the dang NIMBYs, and over time, I'm just kidding. I'm just throwing shade, dude. Chill out. But it's. I can't hear you at all, Charles. I don't know if your phone's still ringing.
You're on mute.
No, I'm not.
You were. You think we're lying? You were on mute.
But the point being that the problem they're trying to do is to make housing more accessible to people who don't have that opportunity now. I don't. Obviously government-owned housing hasn't been a good strategy. So what do they do about it? I mean, what is our prescription for what to do? I mean, we could say stop printing so much money, but that's going to take 20 years to have an effect on the distribution of income and the cost of housing. So what is the plan? What is
burning money?
Burning it?
Burning it. Putting cash in a big pile in the Grand Canyon and burn it. Delete some zeros.
The federal government can incentivize local governments and states from increasing property taxes, or only providing exemptions for certain people, thereby
or we can build some new neighborhoods. You know what I mean?
we're doing that. But people like you are trying to stop us. But we
No
got
one
that
is
taken care of.
trying to stop you.
We got that taken care of. We're doing that over there. What we
Neighborhood.
need help with is property taxes.
No one is stopping you from building. It doesn't matter. Americans can't afford homes anyway, and they'll never be able to afford homes because, well, Americans are.
So how about this is a radical idea? Oh, wait, go ahead.
Have to talk about it.
And does that mean the H-1B visa thing will not be a big priority for your administration? Because if you want to raise wages for American workers, you can't flood the country with tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of foreign workers.
You also do have to bring in talent. When
we have plenty of talented people here.
No, you don't.
We don't have talented people.
No, you don't have. You don't have certain talents, and people have to learn. You can't take people off an unemployment line and say, I'm going to put you into a factory. We're going to make missiles, or I'm going to put.
How did we ever do it before?
Well,
I'll
give you an example. In Georgia, they raided because they wanted.
And he starts talking about South Koreans building batteries, whatever. So Americans are too retarded to do it anyways. So we can't work. We're too dumb. We don't have the talent, so we don't have the earning power to even afford these mortgages. So we need a 50-year mortgage because, we're all just in unemployment lines. Can't figure it out. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, I think so. When he started off saying it, it sounded like crazy stuff that he says, but I think he does make a good point that some of these skills or trades or jobs we just don't have, and no one's going to get them.
It's not. I think that's insulting because it's not. Yeah, there's some people in unemployment that all they've ever been is a janitor or whatever, or worked at McDonald's. Sure. Yeah, it might be a challenge for them to go build missiles. I don't know.
No, that's not what I'm saying, though. And I don't think that's what he's saying either. Can you replay the clip and then I'll explain?
Okay, let me see. Let's go back. Let me maximize that. Let me go to share screen.
So we don't have, according to ChatGPT, the top professions, while you're pulling this back up, the top professions for H-1B visas are software engineers, system analysts, data scientists and analysts, IT project managers, engineers, architects, financial analysts, business analysts, market research analysts, university professors and researchers, healthcare professionals, legal professionals. You're telling me that we don't have Americans that have those skills, enough Americans that have those skills to fill all of the jobs that we need. So we need the H-1B visa. That's the point.
We don't have enough professors, dude. We need more fucking professors.
Before we finish the conversation, could you just play the clip again? Please.
Republicans have to talk about it.
And does that mean the H-1B visa thing will not be a big priority for your administration? Because if you want to raise wages for American workers, you can't flood the country with tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of foreign workers.
You also do have to bring in talent. When
we have plenty of talented people here.
No, you don't.
We don't have talented people here.
No, you don't have. You don't have certain talents, and people have to learn. You can't take people off an unemployment line and say, I'm going to put you into a factory. We're going to make missiles, or I'm going to put.
How did we ever do it before?
Well, I'll give you an example. In Georgia.
Is that enough, Charles?
No, it is. But do you disagree with him that not everybody in the unemployment line is of a blue collar job and isn't able to go do that? There are people who obviously have high degrees that are in the unemployment line. But do you not agree that there are a lot of Americans who don't have those requisite skills that of the jobs you just mentioned, and that getting them to that point, isn't something that can be done probably even in his last term?
No, I think it's a little bit. It's not so black and white. I think that the H-1B visa program creates perverse incentives for tech companies and that need these professions to bring in lower paid workers for the same job that they could hire an American. That exists. The problem here is Trump he's lost his magic a little bit, and we'll talk about that in the next segment. He's getting run over by certain interests who are very focused on this H-1B visa program, and they've convinced him, whether out of flattery or his desire to be tight with people in power or whatever, that we don't have enough folks that have these skills to do these jobs. But my point being, there probably are Americans that can do these jobs, most of these jobs, maybe in certain circumstances, yeah, well, we need this software engineer here, and we don't have another software engineer in this region to take up this job. But it's not on a mass scale, would be my guess.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, to be honest, so I'm separating the two, the H-1B visa like situation and what he said. Like, I'm just considering what he said, unrelated to H-1B visas, because I do think that he is correct that there are a lot of people who don't have those skills. Like, that's why we don't lead in a lot of these areas, in a lot of these tech areas, and we're in these constant competitions. Like, yeah, we have like a number of AI platforms that are leading, but we're being vested in other areas because there are a lot of people in China and other countries who have these skills and are all invested in like pushing it forward, where I don't think we have that here. Like, you have it locked in Silicon Valley, but I don't see it widespread across America. Like, people, now that AI is a little more accessible, yes, I think that's a broader conversation that's nationwide. But I don't think that you have like software development and like incubators and like really encouraging many kids who are getting out of college and high school to like go and dump all their effort into that to produce great things. I just don't know. I don't see that.
I don't know. Brad, what do you think?
Well, yeah, I don't know how good it is of Mr. America First to say that Americans, we just don't have the talent.
Yeah,
to go build batteries and put together missiles. I feel like is that even what H-1B visas are doing? I don't think so. I think there's a lot of fucking graduates in tech and finance and fucking getting PhDs that are totally eligible to fucking teach or start teaching, be a fucking TA. I don't know. You don't need all these people. Maybe there's a handful of really competent, let's say, Indians, right? They could come here and train some people or like share their knowledge, maybe. But I don't think that we need the, Amazon 10,000 H-1Bs to come to America because there's not enough people that can work at Amazon.
Yeah, we have 4.4 million software engineers in the United States. I don't know how many of those are H-1B visa holders. I mean, I just look at this and I'm like, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, Trump, you tell me 5 years ago, Trump's going to go on Laura Ingraham and say, we need this H-1. We don't have enough talent in the United States, so we need to import people from other countries to do the high-paying jobs. Like, geez.
No, he's definitely a different person. I think I think he deeply disliked being disliked the first time, and so now he wants to be a little more in the in crowd.
Well, we're also getting stimmy checks again. If you make less than $100,000, and is it a stimulus check or is it just, hey, you got a tax break because there's no tax on tips? I'm genuinely confused and I don't know what it is. Do y'all know?
I haven't heard this. So
you haven't heard about the $2,000 stimulus checks?
It's like a dividend he's saying from what was produced from the tariffs, but apparently the math doesn't.
The math doesn't math. Yeah. And I mean, Scott Besnitz went on Fox and Friends with Brian Cuckmead. And I think he's saying that. Yes.
That's the most financially responsible thing to do.
Well, there are a lot of options here. The president's talking about a $2,000 rebate, and that would be for families making less than say $100,000.
Have you decided on that yet?
We haven't. It's in discussion. But the other thing to think about, Brian, is that what we did with the tax bill is actually financing the president's no tax and tips over time. So security and the big refunds you're going to see are a result of that. So that's another payment to the American people.
So the big refunds that you're going to see are actually just because of the tax breaks.
They're just going to print the money. That's what I heard.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're going to have to, but
yeah,
not good.
People like him,
huh?
He wants people to like him, which is why they handed out $10,000 checks in a press conference at Bush Airport today.
$10,000? How many of those went out?
She was surrounded by 15 people, and she was like,
I wish I'd known. I would have gone to shake her hand. You know what I mean?
It was like, it's actually kind of crazy. Like, so they were all minorities, and she's standing, and I don't know that they knew what they were getting into. Like, they probably thought they were going to check, because she would be like, the government shut down because of the Democrats, and you would see them standing like, damn, like, I know you were going to say that. And then she turned around and handed them all $10,000 checks for being great. And I think there were others who just weren't in that shot who got it too. And I don't think he said they were going to do it for all these air traffic controllers and TSA agents who went above and beyond.
Yeah, I like the idea of stimmy checks as long as there's a pay for, like as long as it's actual savings or increases in revenues or whatever, not just we're going to print more money to pay for these stimulus checks so that we can send out money to people. It also reeks a little bit of desperation to me.
Here's Christine and all the TSA agents. They look real happy about those $10,000 checks. You think if you just got $10,000 checks, you could fucking smile? You know what I mean?
They didn't get them yet.
You have the very beautiful Christine with her Brazilian blowout, looking all fine at the podium, and you just got $10,000 and you can't smile?
Well, she didn't hand them the check yet.
Ugh.
And also, like, she made it very political, and I can get that too. Like, if I was a TSA agent and you're telling me you're going to give me a $10,000 check, we're going to have a press conference, and I'm sitting up there and you're now like blasting a Democrat, which I'm going to assume.
Oh, fucking give me $10,000. You can say whatever you want in front of me. I don't care. Like, blast Democrats, blast Republicans. Give me 10 grand. I will sit there. I'll smile.
Yep,
Christy, you go.
She's not smiling either, though. She could have been making a very, very serious and cogent point about economics or something at that exact moment, and they were deep in thought about the point she was making.
Yeah, they were deep in thought about fucking patting down some children.
Help serve during this government shutdown and do what we can to recognize that and help them financially with a bonus check to get them and their family back on their feet. So with that, Rico, I want to present to you a check and say thank you from the American people.
No smile.
Just gave him a $10,000 check and he doesn't even smile or say thank you.
Okay. They just had to work without getting paid. Like, I wouldn't thank you to who?
What are you talking about? Charles, if you give me a $10,000 check, I don't give a fuck. I'm going to smile. I'm going to be excited. Thank you, sir. I really appreciate this. Your eyes look beautiful today.
So they had to work without getting paid. And while they saw all their elected officials continue to get paid, and then they're
getting back pay. The government just reopened. They're getting back pay plus a $10,000 bonus from Christine.
But like, there's, I don't know.
I would never wash my hands.
The girl she handed the check to next, that was she was walking to. That girl lost out on buying a house because she didn't have money at that time. And that Chrissy tells the story, and she's like, and we hope this helps you get your home for your starter home now that you can these are like major life interruptions because these idiots in Washington are going to get their lives together.
Oh, the TSA is concerned about major life interruptions. Let me take off my shoes. TSA. Can you imagine the amount of major life interruptions TSA has caused? Look, she gives it to this Asian man. All right. And, kind of like a...
That's a half smile.
Thank you. Rude.
So is MAGA dead? I mean, they're basically reverting to...
This is Michael. Michael, let's get into your topic.
Yeah, my topic. My topic is MAGA dead. It's really, there's a fight in the Republican Party that's been ongoing for a while now, but I'll change it because is MAGA dead? Because it looks to me like, based on our last two segments, they're basically, or not our last two segments, but two things. They're basically acting like Democrats. We're going to print money and hand it out to people and hope that you vote for us, and we're going to censor speech, and we're going to use government power to show how awesome we are. And it seems desperate, doesn't it? And so is that because they are losing support? I mean,
I don't know. I don't think any of this is different than they're doing it in different ways, exercising it in different ways than they did the first time. But I don't think it's very different. Like, he gave us stimulus checks the first time. They used government to silence people.
That was COVID.
They gave us stimmy checks because they locked us down. I mean,
they locked us down.
Right.
Yeah.
I think all of it's the same. It's just a different application of it.
Is it? Maybe you're right. But I've been tracking just more on a macro level this huge fight in the Republican Party, it proxy being the Israel stuff. But I don't really think that's what it's about. I think it's about what's the party going to look like going forward after Trump. Is it going to be more like it used to be, or is it going to be more, I guess, America first? Conceptually America first. And it looks to me like the people who want it to go back to the old ways are winning. It seems like they're steamrolling Trump a little bit.
What are the old ways?
Just foreign policy, interventionism, financial policies that are purporting to help the low income and the poor, but they actually just help the banks and just that kind of stuff. And so Now he's printing money to hand out stimmy checks. It just seems like he got run over in his first term by the swamp, and it seems like they're doing a number on him here as well. And does this have something to do with Epstein?
Probably.
Ooh. So what happened with Epstein, Michael? I think that I think that MAGA is, I mean, with the H-1Bs and the 600,000 Chinese students that are required every single year for American universities to not close is bullshit.
Yeah.
Did you wait? Are we still using that statistic that we were never able to like?
Well, I don't know about the statistic, but I do think that they're screwed in the midterms. I was interested to hear what Charles thinks that means for local politics. Like, does this have an impact downstream if the Republicans are fighting, or is it business as usual on a local level?
That's a great question. I don't know. I mean, I think it is. There is downstream effects, like for our our county races. Like I'm here in Harris County. I don't know about everywhere, but I feel like here in Harris County it is, because a lot of it dovetailed either with like the driving force was they hated Lena, or like there was someone at the top of the ticket that was encouraging them to come out. This time around, I don't know what's going to be there, and I think there's just going to be a lot of frustration over some of the stuff that's going on. Like if the government shutdown is going to be a year plus removed, assuming we don't do it again. But like I feel like there's gonna be other things that keep happening that unfortunately, because like, even with the government shutdown, if you looked at all the polling, Republicans were consistently blamed for it. Like the general public cited them for it, and so I feel like we're going to be cited for everything that happens going forward until at least the midterms. And so, I don't think it's going to be well. Like last year, we had a 1% split between the county attorney and the district clerk or something like that. Those two races between Democrat and Republican. And then the 2 years before that, the county judge race was like it was less than 10 points or something. I don't know how many, but it was very close. It was close for Harris County. I don't think we're going to have those close races anymore. I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, we're going to get blown out in the house in Texas. In the House, the margins are going to shrink pretty significantly. Republicans that had a chance in purple districts, it's no chance this midterm. The Maha moms, the libertarians, the anti-war right, the young people, they aren't turning out for Republicans in the midterms. Give me a break. They turned out for Trump in the presidency and brought him to the White House, but they're not turning out.
What does that mean? What does that mean for statewide, like the Texas Senate race?
I think we're going to be close. I think they're going to be close.
You think Tallarico's going to put up a good fight?
I mean, I don't know if it'll be as close as 2018. I'm currently on to November 13th, 2025. I'm saying it's not as close as 2018, but I think that could change. But it's somewhere in that ballpark.
Will Gina Hinojosa be our next governor?
No, but it'll be closer than it should be.
So just one data point to consider, and it may mean nothing. We'll see. I think we'll better see in May. But we have a school district here, Cy-Fair ISD. It's a fast-growing school district dominated by Republicans. They had held the board for a number of election cycles. And this election cycle, they had like these 3 MAGA, quote unquote, MAGA candidates run. And they ran against regular Republicans, but then there were like a smattering of Democrats in the race. So everybody was splitting the vote. There wasn't like just Republicans splitting the vote. Democrats were too. Democrats cleaned house and took over the board. Like and when they looked at the voters, a lot of the Republicans went and voted for Democrats in the school district because they were just
yeah.
So, I don't know.
Well, real quick, let's do Epstein. It's the segment we have every week. Nothing's going to happen, but Congress is back in session. There's a discharge petition, which basically in Congress, you can overrule the speaker if you get enough signatures on a petition that says we want to bring this bill for a vote. There's 218 signatures on there now, which is enough. That's all Democrats and 4 Republicans. Trump went into crisis management mode, pulled Nancy Mace, according to news reports, into the Situation Room.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
to try to get her to take her name off the discharge petition to release the Epstein files. She did not concede, which is like, whoa, did you lose a little magic there, Trump? You can't even get Nancy Mace to fall in line. But the Situation Room, there, if you've been in the White House before, there are meeting rooms everywhere. Like you don't have to meet in the Situation Room. That tells me there's something intel related.
Nobody listening to this, and neither me or Brad have been in the White House.
The one person in this conversation that's been.
But yes, I've been to the White House.
No,
There's meeting rooms everywhere. Point being, and the only reason you go in the Situation Room is because there's sensitive information involved in whatever you're talking about. You can't bring your cell phone in, all that stuff. You can't take notes, and so they brought her in there to try to get her to take your name off. But it's going to proceed. There's going to be a vote. I think that more than 4 Republicans will vote for it. It'll pass the House, and then it'll go to the Senate, where it will probably fail because it needs 60 votes. And even if it gets through the Senate, Mr. Trump is going to veto it, so it doesn't matter. But what the heck are they so afraid of?
So what do you think he said to her in the Situation Room? Do you think he like laid it out and then said, now this is why I need you? Like, what do you think that like conversation was like to get her? Because I would assume that if you're pulling her in there, you're going to tell her like the truth. Like, huh?
No, I don't think he did. I think he probably grabbed her by the you know what. You know what I mean? As Trump is wont to do. And with women, as we've been told.
I don't know what he told. I don't know what he told her, but he didn't tell her the truth. The truth isn't enough to convince her to take her name off the discharge petition, which I think it.
Well, right? No. I don't think telling her the truth would be the reason. I think he would tell her the truth and then make a case for why it still needed to be concealed. Why else? But like, I don't get why pull her in there. Why not just make the case wherever you have to make the case?
The most charitable view of this is that the Epstein files have been in the hands of the government for far too long, and we have no idea if they're actually the original Epstein files or they've been edited or whatever. I mean, does the FBI, CIA, whoever has them and whoever has had them, could they potentially change them and still make them look very real and believable? Yeah, 100%. And maybe Biden went in there and had them all changed to where Trump's name is listed 1 million times. That would be maybe, and that's why we can't release this because they're not even real. So it doesn't even matter. So stop it. It's just going to make things worse. The other, I think we talked about that, Michael, with the JFK files, or that we're even really getting everything at this point. Everything's been shredded, right? So the other point is that maybe if they are real, he's got a lot of big donors, and maybe there's a small country in the Middle East that might be implicated, and he has a certain affinity for, and some of his largest donors really love that country a whole lot. And so they can't come out because his donors are saying, we're going to tank your legacy in this next election if you let these things go out.
Yeah, but it's not even just that. Did you see the Barack emails that were leaked? So an Iranian hacker group hacked Ehud Barak, former prime minister of Israel's whole email inbox or whole email records, and just put them out there. And it's like Epstein is facilitating a meeting with Ehud Barak, who at the time was either head of IDF or he was the prime minister, and Vladimir Putin. It's like this guy is like connected to powerful people everywhere. It's not just Israel. He's facilitating meetings with,
of course,
Putin, and it's Bill Gates, and it's all these huge power brokers who are all now really friendly with Trump. And it's like how we started this show. Like, you're acting shady because something shady's happening. Yeah. I mean,
did I see something on the news that there was like his email showed up somewhere or something? I was not paying attention very closely, but his email was in a batch of emails or something like that.
There's an email exchange between Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein, allegedly, in the files released by the House committee that say basically Trump spent countless hours with victim is redacted when it says victim. And then Epstein says, I'm about 75% there. And Ghislaine says, I know, I've been thinking about that. I don't know what that means, but that was one of the emails that was leaked.
Probably 75% way of having everything he needs.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, if you keep concealing them, people are going to probably expect worse than what the reality is. So,
I mean,
can it get worse than what? I mean,
at this point, I don't know what the reality could be that isn't as bad as what everyone's assuming.
Yeah.
And also, I just don't get why nobody just comes out and says it. Like, even the women, like they have that press conference saying, well, if the House isn't going to do it, we're going to do it. Her thing.
KL wasn't do it. Yeah, exactly.
Massey's,
wasn't it Megyn Kelly that said like 7 years ago that 12 more months we're going to see some more?
Well, I'm going to be seeing Mike Lee in the next hour and a half, so I'll ask him.
Oh, please do.
No.
What are you seeing Mike Lee for?
It's a fundraiser. I'm not gonna I'm gonna see him, but like I'm not gonna
pass him a note.
Give him money. I'll reimburse you, and then ask him what the frick's going on with the Epstein files.
Call you up through Michael something.
Okay, guys. Well, it's been fun. As always, for our listeners, thank you for being here. Thank you for sticking around. Like, subscribe, share, do all that stuff. Follow me and Michael, and good luck finding Charles, I guess.
Well, seeing as my name is right there, but also before everyone goes, it would be nice to acknowledge the fact that this was our 100th episode, and this is why we had such a great show. And so thank you guys for all tuning in for 100 episodes. That's 100 times of you giving us your time, and time is the most precious resource that we have on this earth. And so for you guys to give us your time this whole time, we greatly appreciate it. And so we hope you continue to do so, and we hope that you got something out of this, because we certainly did.
Preach.